Hi, it's Lisa with Paper Pastiche, here with you to do day 10 of our 12 Days of Christmas Cards series. I don't know why that's so hard to spit out, but for some reason it is. Anyway, 12 Days of Christmas Cards series, day 10. Okay, we have a folded kind of flower here with the ornament in the middle in our greeting. And let's get to it. So the stamp set that I'm using is the Ornament Keepsakes stamp set. I'll be using this one here. It is a two-part series. It has two cases in it. You'll need a bone folder, and tonight you'll need a scoring board. You're going to need 10 circles, which are done with this 1 3/4 inch circle punch. You can do it with other size circles. My measurements are just geared for this particular one. I'll also be using the die that goes with the stamp set that I have there. I can't find my packaging on the rest. My desk has swallowed the rest. So you'll also need an embossing folder. This is a Stampin' Up! One, the one that looks kind of like a basket weave. And you will also need the Sizzix Stampin' Up! Big's Top Note die or some other die. Some wet glue. I'm also going to be using a Stampin' Right marker in Real Red. Real Red stamp pad. And a sentiment, whichever sentiment you want to use. I've been using this one from Hampton Arts. This Merry Christmas. I'll be using that again. Seems to be perfect for what I have to say this year. I guess I could use this Happy Holidays too. That would work as well. But I'm sticking with the Merry Christmas. And let's get started. You're going to need, now my colors are different on this particular card than on the sample card that I showed you. This one is done with Very Vanilla as the base, always artichoke here, and this is still Real Red and a double-sided paper. Now, the paper that you'll want to use, you definitely need one that's double-sided, but the lighter the weight of the paper, the easier this is to do. With a standard weight cardstock, like the solid color cardstocks, it's a little more difficult to fold, and your layers tend to separate. So Stampin' Up's printed paper is a good weight for this. So you'll need a piece at 5.5 by 8.5, a piece at 4.25 by 5 for your top note die, and you will need 10 circles. You'll need 9 of the double-sided and 1 just solid piece, and then you will need two pieces of as the same color as your base for 3/4 by 2 inches, 2 of those. Okay, let's get started. So this, we are going to put it on the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 4 1/4. And fold that in half, and we'll burnish that again later. So let's get to the making this, I don't know, for better word, flower part, this medallion kind of like thing here. So the first thing you're going to do is fold it in half. And then I'm going to, I kind of work on my scoring board kind of sideways here, so excuse my habits here. But I'm going to fold it in half and put this straight up against the edge. And then I'm going to find my 1 1/8 mark line, and I'm going to put my bone folder in there. And then I'm going to pivot this so that the point of my corner here is on that 1 1/8 mark, and then score. I'm gonna score pretty good because I want to go through both layers there. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it in half, fold that corner back that way and fold that corner back that way. So now I have something that looks like this. And then I'm going to open it up, and then I want to bring this edge to this middle line where we made our first fold when we fold it in half, and then press that down. Right now I'm just using my nails. I'll go over it with my bone folder later. And then do the same thing on this side. Bring it up to that half mark area, and that's what it should look like on this side, and then that's what it will look like on the other side. So you will need 9 of these. Let's do it a couple more times. Okay, so in half, crease, put it against your scoring board, find your 1 1/8 mark, pivot it out until your point gets on there, and then score pretty heavily on that 1 1/8 mark. Fold each of these sides back, open it up, and fold to the center. Be sure you don't tuck this under like that. Sometimes I end up doing that a little bit. Fold this in half again. And there you go. Okay. One more time. Circle in half. 1 1/8 mark. Line up your corner. And score. Fold the little wings back here. Open it up. Fold your edge to the middle. And your other edge to the middle. Okay. There you go. All right, we'll put that away. And so I should have 9 now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Okay. And if you want to ink your edges, this would be the time to do it. Ink here and ink around, but be sure you get this corner right here on the back side, that section on the back side, because it's going to be showing over here to your front. So if you would like to, you can ink up those edges, and that might be a nice look too. So, oops, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and give these all a good burnishing so that they, you don't want to, I mean, they're not really meant to lie flat, but just so they're not like popping open and stuff. Okay. So I'm kind of using up my scraps tonight. This is a good project for using your scraps because you don't need a whole lot of them. And I have quite a few scraps that I want to start using up. So, okay. So the next thing you're going to need is, this isn't just another scrap too, left over from my card last night. And you want to put some adhesive on there. You want to cover this just as much as you can. So however you want to do that is fine. Okay, so I like to, it would have been helpful to do this first, but if you fold it in half and then half again, you'll get your center point. And that just helps you know where to place mostly your first piece. Okay, so I'm going to put it on like that. Now, you can continue to line these up and put them on like this. My preference is to turn it over because there's less confusion on the back of here. And to me, it's just easier to see where they go. So, if you wanted to do this with, like alternating, like these are all the same, but if you wanted to have two different patterns, do it with alternating ones, you could still do it, but you'd have to have an even number, whereas here I have an odd number. Oop, I let one fall off. And I didn't get very much in the middle here. Okay, let me start again. Let's see if I can get these. This usually goes a little smoother. I think my adhesive got good coverage on my thing there. The lighting that I need for filming is not necessarily the best lighting for me to see. Okay, that one's still good. A little adhesive on the back of this one here. And we'll do the same over here. Okay, well, I made that look a little harder than it really is. Okay, so now my pieces here are all turned various ways. So I want to be sure that I have got them all straightened out like they're meant to be. Okay. All right, and now we can set this aside. And the next thing we're going to do is emboss our solid piece of cardstock. I am actually going to just put both sides through here because there's kind of some shrinkage. If you're going to do a mat, you wouldn't need to put both sides of your card through, you just put one side. But okay, and while I have the Cuttlebug out here, we're going to go ahead and use our die cut too. So now for this big, thick Sizzix die here, you're not going to need your A plate. So you can take your A plate out and you just need 2 B plates. Okay? And then you can put your paper on there. Make sure it's covering everything. Run that through. And now we have our shape here. Okay. So we are done with that. Okay, let's stamp our, oh, we weren't quite done with it. We still needed to do our little ornament thing there. Okay, so since I'm using white, I want to either stick with that or like on this one, I had a piece of gray that was just left over that I stamped on. Here it is. I'm going to bring everything toppling down here. Okay. Anyway, so I think I'm just going to stamp on here again. So I will get my stamp pad out. A little bit of my tape stuck on there. Okay, so a lot of times when I'm inking, I like to rub and then tap, tap, tap. Okay, press down there, and then I will want to get I've got a little bit of washi tape on here to help me line it up good there. I think that's not quite as straight as it could be. All right. Okay. Okay, since we're cutting, we're going to need our A plate, our C plate, and a B plate. Put this under our B plate. And really you should cut with your die the other way up. Since we have it taped on there, we can turn it over. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but you get a better cut that way. Pop this out of here. And there's our ornament. Boy, I'm knocking everything over tonight. Okay, so here is our card base. You can ink around the edges if you would like. Now, it's pretty bumpy on here, and this is a greeting card, so you can't really write on this. So you could either use another Biggs, and I mean a top note die, and put this in here. And but we're going to put it right here because this is a heavily embossed surface. A lot of times it's better to use glue because it kind of will fill in those nooks and crannies and stuff. So trying to get to my edges there better. Alrighty. So you could also put a piece of ribbon under here. If I had another mat, I would have done that. But since I don't have another mat under there, I'm not doing that tonight. Because if I had it under here and I wrapped it around, my ends would be showing here, then I'd have to put something here. Which if I can put something there, then I could put something here. So I decided not to do that tonight. Okay, so I think we're about ready to put our flower on there. You might want to kind of play with it, get it where you want it to be. And then just to help secure these edges, I'm going to put wet glue on here too. And that will help all my pieces stay good in place. Okay. All right, so the next thing I am going to do is take a Stampin' Dimensional and put it in the middle of my medallion thing here. Put my ornament there. And then I am going to stamp my sentiments. Now, if you recognize this piece, this is my Merry Christmas sentiment. And before, when I've used it this week, it was all one word. But I took my little handy dandy scissors and I just cut it right in half. There you go, now you can see it. I just cut it right in half. That way, if I want to, I can layer them, and I can stamp, two together like that. Let me find a piece of paper and show you. I don't have them really lined up on there perfectly. I'm just doing it just for the sake of demonstration. Okay, So now I can have them however I want to. They don't just have to be in one long row. So in this case, I want to use them separately. So I'm going to look at this and kind of follow here. So my Christmas, I want it to be right about there. And on the Mary, I'm going to scoot it a little more to the left. All right, I kind of mushed down a little too hard on that there. Okay, so from my corner in, I'm going to give a little snip. And then the same thing on this side. Okay. Now I have a little sponge dauber here. I'm just going to ink my edges. And I'm going to do one other thing here. I'm going to get a little faux stitching. Look here. And the same thing on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my bone folder and curl my edges a little bit here. So on the Christmas one, I'm going to curl it on the right side, and on the Mary one, I'm going to curl it on what's going to be the left side. Okay. So I'm going to use wet glue again for this. I'm going to put some on the bottom and some on the top, and just stick it up under there. And then the same thing on the side. Stick it up under there. Okay, and there you go. Our 10th card in our 12 Days of Christmas Cards series. Thank you. Bye.